think more and more micro bakeries, more dessert concepts, the same, great bakeries that have been around for a long time that are 5 years old, 7 years old, 10, 20-year-old bakeries. Lost a few of the old players, but I think if you look around, you say there's a lot of pastry going on in Chicago. It's really interesting. Let me know, is that the same by you? Is this a national thing, or are we just really lucky to live in Chicago? But I get the feeling what I saw through the end of the last few years is a lot of people that were doing pastries and bakeries in their cottage, under cottage, laws at home and selling to friends and family did a really good job, and they have kind of moved into some of the vacated spaces and started a business. So great for them. It's really good for our industry. As you know, I don't believe there's really a bad thing with competition in bakery. I think there's enough to go around. I don't think we're all fighting for the same chocolate chip cookie sales, right? Chocolate chip cookies like pizza, I don't think we can have enough, right? There's always people going to try them, and if you do a good job, you're going to make sales, and you're going to make some friends and make some fans. But I like to change it up. I could eat a different cookie from a different bakery every day. I mean, that's just me. Also, we're talking about good things going on in pastry. We have the National Pastry Convention coming up in Charlotte, National Pastry Conference coming up in Charlotte. So shout out to everyone over there that's putting that on. It's like August 29th through 31st. So if you're in Charlotte or you can get to Charlotte, highly recommend it. Literally everybody's going to be there, like everybody. So if you want to kind of make some new friends or see your old friends, that's the place to be. And we haven't had a good place to have everyone meet up in a long time, so that will be the place. So good luck to everyone over there. There's competitions, there's a lot of events and that, and really, I mean, it's just like the who's who in pastry. And I think if you ever wanted to see what's going on in the culture of the pastry world, these are the events that you see. That you see who's still around, you see the new players come in, you look at the companies. A lot of times it's the new equipment, or things that you like. I think you level up more from watching other people work too, is what I always loved about competition. Not so much the output, that's super interesting, what people do, the winners, who's doing creative stuff, but just like the way the table set is, like what are they using the equipment. Sometimes you see things that you could just take right back into your own work, so that's something that's worthwhile all the time. So you can get over there to Charlotte this weekend. We'll be talking more about that. And then, yeah, in general, keep being prepared for the last quarter. I can't say it enough. And one of those ways is just to be really efficient now. Be efficient now, so when you're busy, it's like the stock market. There aren't that many times in a year where we'll really get a lift in the market and you'll get a lot of gains, right? There really aren't that many times in a year where you'll get those gains. That's why you have to stay in it, right? And sometimes moving around your assets like that, it's not the way to make sure you're in the market fully when you get that lift. Well, it's the same thing with your production. When I say mapping out your production, meaning, like, put it another way, when I'm sitting with groups, bakery owners and chefs, these decorators, the people in the business responsible for the production planning, it becomes evident that very few groups are looking at 100% of everything that they need to make every day, in a day, a week, a month. They're looking at most of it, in the best case, maybe 85, 90%, and whatever that other percentage is, 10%, even if it was 5% of things you're not really looking at, is a fail or potential fail when you get to that point. And we realize, like, we don't have what we need for the case, we don't have what we need for coffee, we don't have what we need for delivery, we don't have what we need for the packaging piece. It's just out of sync because we weren't always looking at everything all the time. And yeah, that's a lot, right? Like, to always look at everything all the time, you have to map out the production, meaning every item, even the items that don't seem important. It's all important, because that is really the only way we can match the labor, right? The labor spend with the time it makes to produce it. Because when does the labor go off? A couple major times. It goes off at the times where we have to finally produce something we didn't map out. So then that just goes out the window. We weren't accounting for the labor. we're accounting for the schedule, and we have to make these things. And then the other time is in the holidays. So the reason to map everything and be efficient, if you need a reason, is because then in the top sales volume period of Q4, when we surge, we have already the most efficient. And then just like the stock market, that's the time where efficient production will equal really great profits, right? Because we're going to scale it up, and it won't just be by adding a lot of labor and making whatever purchases you need. We know that if we're not efficient, we've lived it, I've lived it. I'm only telling you what's worked for me, but I think it will work for you. It's when you get into the holidays, you realize it's too late on a lot of years. And when you sit there at the end of December and you say, okay, next year we're not going to do this, that's the time to like commit for January, map it out while it's still fresh. What was the peak volume? But if we didn't do that and we're sitting here and it's the end of August, we still have time. Do it now, map the minimum, make the space for the holidays and what's coming up. So anyway, let me know what you think. But message me if you see that there's a lot more bakeries, a lot of micro bakeries, a lot of pastry and bakery activity going on in your neck of the woods. I'd love to hear about it. Look for my column, Pastry Virtuosity and Dessert, in Pastry Art magazine. We are going to be including some features on just that level of chef that just started. Maybe they work in their house and now they have like their first brick and mortar. Would love to see what they're doing for the holidays and give them some shine in the magazine. So if that's you, or you know someone that may be thinking ahead at something kind of cool and modern and different for the festive season, I'd love to write about it, include it in the magazine. All right, peace everyone, be good. Hope to see you around Chicago. Love y'all. Have a great one.